Hello everybody, Mav Hunter here from the YouTube channel Mav's Outdoor Adventures. And this Sunday afternoon finds me in the garage doing a little tackle prep for my midweek fishing trip, my kayak fishing trip down to La Jolla Shores, where my primary target is going to be yellowtail. The fishing this year for yellowtail has really been an off year, but you know, you can't catch them if you're not out there. So I'm going to go give it a try midweek with the good tides that we have. So I'm doing a little preparation, and when you're kayak fishing, it's great to be prepared before you go on the water. Because unlike a larger powerboat craft where you have a lot of room to stand up and move around and go side by side and search for tackle and whatever, in a kayak you have a small amount of space. And what's important, you need to stay pretty centered within that kayak space, because a sudden lunge to starboard or a sudden lunge to port, and you could just flip yourself over. And you definitely don't want that 2 miles offshore in the Pacific Ocean. So this afternoon I'm organizing my Sabiki rigs, and these Sabiki rigs I use to catch various bait fish that I keep alive in my Hobie Pro Angler. I have a live well tank, so I like to fish live bait. And I have different sizes that I carry in Sabikis, from size 14 to 10 to size 6, size 4, and size 2. But the biggest thing about storing Sabikis, and more importantly about being able to switch out to a different size Sabiki very quickly if the bait size drops or gets larger. For instance, with green mackerel, I want to use a size 2, maybe size 4 Sabiki. And for small mackerel or large sardines, I'm going to use a size 4 or 6 Sabiki. And for small sardines and small anchovies, I'm going to use a size 10 or 12 or 14 Sabiki. So the Sabikis come tied up very neatly in these packages. They're not that easy to get undone. You have to be careful because you could tangle them up. But then to do this on the water is such a pain in the butt. So what I do is I take my Sabiki rigs and I store them wrapped on insulating pipe foam. And so I use these little storage tubes, and here's the pipe foam, and I wrap the Sabiki around the pipe foam, and the hooks of the Sabiki stick into the pipe foam, which keeps it all secured. And then when I'm done, I insert the foam into the Sabiki, make a little twist so that the tails of the Sabiki don't get bent off, the lid on, and then I mark the lid with the hook size of the Sabiki stored in this little container. So on these Sabiki rigs, I cut a little notch in the foam right here, and when I put my Sabiki rig away for the trip or the day, I'll put the swivel down in the hole of the pipe insulation and pull the leader tight into that notch, and then wrap over the leader like so. And then here you see a Sabiki hook, so I'll wrap this hook around the pipe insulation and stick the hook into the pipe insulation, and that holds it in place. And then I continue to wrap until I get to the next Sabiki hook. You can see how it wants to tangle on me already. And then I take this hook and I wrap it around the pipe insulation and hook the hook into the pipe insulation. And then I continue to wrap. I come up on another Sabiki hook, so I'll take this and turn it around and stick that hook into the pipe insulation. I got this idea of using this pipe insulation for my Sabikis from my salmon steelhead fishing days in the Northwest, where I always pre-tied a lot of my fishing leaders so that when there was a bite going on and I needed a new leader, I could quickly unroll a leader off the pipe insulation roll and get right back to fishing. You can see where I hooked the hook into the pipe insulation, which holds the sabiki in place. So then I got a few more wraps here to finish off putting this sabiki away until the next trip. And at the end here, I will take and pinch the swivel against the foam and bring the sabiki hook over the swivel, the leader over the swivel, cross the swivel, and then hook the hook into the foam, and that holds the swivel in place. So here I have my size 6 sabiki rigs. As you can see here, I label the tops of the tubes so I know which hook size are in my sabiki rigs. Now I take the tube and I'm going to insert with a little twist. You can see me doing a little twist there, and that's so that those sabiki feathers and twinkling skirts don't get pinched off. It keeps them relatively straight. And then I cap them off, and there we go. I put them away. And so here I have my size 6 sabiki rigs, and these are size 14, which is for very small anchovies and herring or sardines. This is a new one I've got to label. This is a size 2 sabiki rig that I just put today. So I'm going to put size 2 on the sabiki rig. And it's the same thing I do with my squid jigs. My squidding jigs, which are leadered up with 4 to 5 squid jigs each, I also store the squid jigs in these little storage tubes. So it's very easy for me to, if I'm fishing and the bait fish are on the tiny small side, I will reach into my tackle organizer and perhaps get a size 6 sabiki. Pull it out. And unhook it. And then just unwrap it. I reach the next hook and the next hook. I just unhook the hook from the foam. And there I have it. I have a sabiki rig that I can change up within a minute or two and to accommodate the current bait fish that's underneath my kayak that I'm targeting. So it's that easy. And when I'm done for the day, and then let's say I've collected plenty of bait and I don't intend to fish bait the rest of the day, then I take the sabiki and I wind it back up onto the foam, put the foam in the tube, and put it away. That way, on one of my fishing rods in the back of me and a rod holder on the kayak, I don't have sabiki hooks swinging around in the air where they can tangle up and get messed up and so on. So this is how I store and access my sabiki rigs for catching small bait fish. As I mentioned earlier, it's all about being organized in a kayak when you're on the water. It makes it so much easier, so much efficient, because you don't have a lot of space to be moving around all the time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, click the thumbs up icon for a like and to stay tuned for new videos to our Mavs Outdoor Adventures. Hit the red subscribe button. Thank you.